I put out a video on how to pick the perfect shop, which is done amazing. So you may ask, why do I need another? In 1.2, things changed drastically for workshops to the point where I'm unable to make another workshop video. And I will go through the steps and explain why I can't, but also how you can work around the changes to try and get better profits. First, you need to find the right shop. Look in the town to see what goods are being transported. You can hover over the hammer to see what goods are being delivered. You also have castle-bound villages, and this is something people sleep on. Castle-bound villages will take their goods to the nearest town of their kingdom. The one catch is there is a certain distance. Scroll out till you can't see castles. Then slowly scroll back in till castles appear. Take about 75 to 80% of the screen. If the town is within that mark, then it will take it to that town. If it is outside that mark, it will take it to the closest friendly town your kingdom is not at war with. I caution people with castles, since if the town you have your shop in or the castle gets taken, those goods will go elsewhere. Let's take Rote. The silver from this castle goes to Rote. However, if the town or castle gets taken by another kingdom, then that silver won't go to Rote anymore. Also, distance plays a role. The game will have the castle-bound villages take their goods to the closest town, but remember, it's not in a straight line, but travel distance that matters. Let's take the Silver Village again. If you own this castle, the goods will go to Rote. But if you take Amitatis, then the goods will now go to Amitatis. Not because it's closer in a straight line, but because it's a shorter travel distance in the game. So castle-bound villages can help, but are totally unpredictable, and I caution people when counting on them. Input and output are key factors to look for. You want a town to have a lot of input and a little output to get the best prices. This can take a few days to try and get an idea since there are so many factors that play a role in goods being in a town. From villages raided, castle-bound villages changing hands, caravans buying goods, armies coming through and buying all the consumables, and the biggest one, Pale World's coding. Each patch, for some reason, shops change in how effective they are, which is why I would do a workshop video for each patch, as we've seen meta shops change numerous times. With each new patch, your favorite could become worthless if the code changes. Look at the input of the town to see what the prices are. If you have 50 trade, you can just see the color codes for the products, and when buying a shop, you want to see green for the input and red for the output. If you don't have 50 trading, then just hover over the item and see what its average is. You want to see it at or lower than the global average for the input and at or above for the output. This is a sign of how it could perform. Once you found your shop, you need to become a detective. Shops close by can flood the market in your area, driving down the price of your goods and cause your production to be halted. You need to check the towns close by to see if they have the same shops. Place a brewery with 3 towns close by that also have breweries will cause the price to plummet and you will see very little profit. Make sure to stop by each town nearby to see if they have the same shops as you. You can manipulate the market by buying a shop, changing it, and selling it back. This is very expensive to do, but I do know people that have done it to make huge profit, but it is a big gamble to make. Let's check the area around Rote for breweries. You can see which towns close by have breweries. And if a few of them have them, then that is going to cause it to absolutely plummet when it comes to your profit, as it's going to drive down the price and your shops just won't run. And lastly, for the biggest change of the game, micromanaging. The reason I can't make a workshop video anymore is the production of workshops seems to have increased. This is a disaster for shops, since if too much is produced, then the game thinks it won't make profit and production is halted until it thinks it will make profit again. Where in my last video, I considered micromanaging optional, it is now almost mandatory to make great money. You can occasionally find that perfect shop, but for many, you must micromanage to make decent profit. For the input, what you want to do is give the town input till it's at its global average or just a little below. Never go way below the global average. That means that the input is so low priced, caravans will swoop up the goods fast till it gets back near average. So you're just wasting money. For the output, you want it to be near or above the global average, or once again, production will be halted. So if it gets too low below the global average, you need to buy some of those goods to get it back up near or above the global average. In virtually every test I did when starting to test my workshop video for 1.2, within 30 to 40 days, there was so much output that the shops just stopped running and I couldn't get accurate data since I needed to buy the output for it to run again. This is a trend that continued for the entire test run, as most shops will stop running from overproduction at some point in your game. I did a test in a previous video to show how well this works, and this is the time frame to remember. I bought all the output in my town and took it somewhere else to sell it. Prices increased for about 15 days. That was around the maximum. Then it started dropping again for about another 15 days. So buying all the output might give you about 30 days of production, and that is what you need to remember to do to make good money each time. Unless you want to just use what we have now. So let's get to the elephant in the room, the new workshop system. This system is somewhat of a game changer. It can make you massive profit if done right. You can supply the input at a cheap cost. Let's take a brewery. You can buy grain super cheap in towns like Ascar, Sanala. Drop it off in your town and tell them to use that first. Then you can tell your shop to hold the goods and not sell to the town. This is a way that you can make money. But once again, this is a form of micromanagement. You need to take the time to get the goods, pick yours up, and sell them elsewhere. So the old days of set and forget about workshops to make passive income is nearly gone, as micromanagement is not something I would consider passive, as you need to do work to make profit. But in testing I have done, being somewhat reliable with shop production being halted constantly, I was able to guesstimate that I could make about 40% more by buying the input, holding the output, and selling it to other towns. Lowering the production by just 25% didn't really help once again. My overall profit doing this was 30% higher, but the passive income from the shop was 20% lower. That means I only made about 10% more in the long run, but I still had to micromanage. This is, however, what you really want to do if you have the artisan community perk for getting renowned. Lower the production to the town so not as much is thrown into the trader, and you can hopefully not have your shops halted and lose that free renown. It is rare to get a shop at 100% reduction to run non-stop consistently and make good money. Micromanaging is now almost required in Bannerlord to make great money. That is why my old video is really obsolete for 1.2 and beyond. As I said, it was optional. That statement is now not accurate to shops. So what can you do? Check the towns to make sure there aren't multiple shops in that town. Check the towns around your town that it also doesn't contain the same shops so the market doesn't get flooded, driving the price down. Make sure there is available input for your shop from the villages or it will stop running. Check the output that it isn't so far below the global average that it will cause shop production to be halted. And finally, micromanage, whether it's supplying the input to put in the town or in the shop itself, buying the output to sell, or sending some production to your shop, pick it up and sell it later to make good money. If you follow these steps, you should make good money. However, if you're looking for a set and forget shop, that will take a lot of time to find, and the perfect shop that covers all these points are few and far between. Are there spots out there? Yes. But with the new workshop system being randomized each game, finding just one will be a challenge. I hope this will help you out to make great profit. If you have any questions, just ask and I will try to help you out. As always, take care and thanks for watching.